surprising how busy it is here. We're in Jamaica, Caribbean island nation ruled over by the British royal family. Now, in just a few hours, the Queen's funeral will be starting in the UK. Here in Jamaica, the government announced 12 days of mourning where people should be at home thinking about the Queen, but we're not really seeing any of that. The vibe is very different here.
What the Queen represents here is very different to what she represents some 4,000 miles away where she's being laid to rest. Jamaica was a British colony for over 300 years, and for much of that, Britain enslaved Africans and used them to work plantations here, supplying the empire with sugar, coffee, cotton, and immeasurable wealth. It's a dark history that people haven't forgotten.
We're supposed to be in 12 days of mourning right now. Why are you not at home? Why are you not thinking about the Queen?
Okay, to be real, like, I don't necessarily feel sad as a person, but for what she stands for, I'm kind of happy in that sense. Don't get me twisted, I'm not heartless, but for what she represents, come on man, 2022.
Jamaica gained independence from Britain and started electing its own government back in 1962. But it's still part of the Commonwealth realm, meaning the Queen was Jamaica's head of state, a title her son automatically inherited when she died.
Why are you not at home thinking about the Queen's impact like the government wanted you to? What's going on?
Politically, we want our independence, because we say we're independent, but all land in Jamaica belongs to the King. There's a lot of inequities that have to be corrected. So people have mixed feelings about the crown.
I mean, I have to say, I've been here for 3 days. I'm not really seeing mixed feelings. I'm just seeing... Nobody gives a fuck.
End of the day, no one cares about her.
There are certain benefits we don't get being in the Commonwealth. Like, some people can travel on their passport to the US, UK. We can't do that. You know, so Jamaica...
You can't go to the UK?
No.
It's at least £500, which is a lot of fucking...
With application.
To go to the UK?
Yeah, man.
I think that's just an application to go.
Even though the British royal family is the head of your state?
For the average Jamaican, the concern is, are we going to get justice? And we contributed a lot to British wealth. So we do need to quantify what has Jamaica contributed to the UK and how do we get it back?
For many people here in Jamaica, the Queen's death represents a fresh chance to approach an old question: when and how to officially break from the crown. It's a question almost all former British colonies have faced. Last year, Barbados became the latest to remove the Queen as head of state. But there's also the question of reparations for slavery and the wealth stolen by Britain. Protests erupted back in March when members of the royal family came to Jamaica. They demanded compensation and an apology. But all that Prince William could muster was a short expression of regret.
The appalling atrocity of slavery forever stains our history. I want to express my profound sorrow. Slavery was abhorrent, and it should never have happened.
It's 18 minutes after 10 o'clock here in Kingston, Jamaica. The Queen's coffin has arrived at St. George's Chapel on the grounds of Windsor.
The Queen's funeral's happening right now in the UK, so we've come to one of Jamaica's biggest morning radio shows. Just understand what people across the island are saying about the passing of their leader.
Good morning, good morning. Let's get to work as the Brits lay to rest their longest-serving monarch.
Cliff Hughes is one of the most trusted voices on Jamaican airwaves.
We have some visitors with us in our studio from Vice News. Hi, what are you doing in Jamaica?
That's a very good question. We're in Jamaica because your queen passed away.
Queen?
Yes, your queen.
I hear you. People in Jamaica who still want to keep the Queen as our head of state. But fortunately, we now have a majority in the country based on public opinion polling of Jamaicans who say enough is enough. Yes, time to cut the ties.
Yes.
And most importantly, you Brits need to apologize and pay reparations.
But why is it still just being talked about? Why isn't there action on that?
Because that is a question for the political leadership in the country, who have really tiptoed around this issue.
But they can.
I mean, we're seeing it with Barbados.
Of course.
Yeah, so
it can be
if they
done.
wanted to do it, it could be done pretty much immediately.
I think what you're pointing to is deep divisions, in political divisions in the country.
Do you think that as a result of the change of the monarchy, that actually this is when it ends?
I think so. And I think her death is going to result in countries like Jamaica and others saying goodbye.
We requested interviews with several government officials. Most declined because they were attending the Queen's funeral. But opposition parliament member Lisa Hanna agreed, and she's pushing to leave the king behind.
It's my privilege and honor to welcome our Member of Parliament to our school this morning, Miss Lisa Hanna.
Hannah brought us to visit a school in her constituency to hear how the Queen's death had been felt by a younger generation.
When my generation looks forward, what is important and critical to the sustainability of this country and the development of this country is how our young people think. Do you think having the monarchy as our head of state has benefited Jamaica?
No, it has not. We claim to say that we're independent. It's 62 years.
60 years.
60 years. Well, the king now is still the head of state. Why can't we become republic?
The UK has drawn a lot of money and resources from Jamaica. I suppose the UK decided, hey, I'm going to give Jamaica back all that we have taken from them. Will that really aid in the long run? Because remember, slavery affected our minds. So it will still leave a mark for centuries to come. Will it really matter? Can we pay back for the mental slavery, the mental enslavement?
It pains us to learn about what happened to our foreparents, and it's like they still have a control. The British still have a control if you think about it. I think we need to become republic. Hopefully, if one of us in this generation becomes a member of parliament, it changes by then.
There's been so much anger against the Brits here. There's been so much anger against the Queen and the monarchy and what the British royal family stands for. But actually, Jamaica does have some power to change things that it wants, right?
Absolutely.
So then can't that just happen?
What needs to happen before we can even go forward with the conversation is that there needs to be a real public education campaign among the Caribbean. It is time for Jamaica to become a republic, to have our own head of state, to make our own laws, to represent ourselves, to see ourselves as our own leaders, to lead our people, to not have our head of state being the representation of years of historical oppression.
Make a concentrate and play hard. Yeah, man. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Listen, there were many negative things that the Brits brought to Jamaica, but some people are trying to cling on to the positives. I don't really understand cricket, I'm not going to lie to you, but people seem to be taking it pretty seriously here.
Cricket is among the most British pastimes, and 17-year-old Cavan Malcolm dreams of playing for the English team. But even though he's ruled by the royal family, he would still need a visa to get to the UK.
Let me talk to you about your dream. The big dream is to go to England. Tell me about it.
I always want to play cricket in England. I always want to make it to the international level.
Have you been to England before?
No.
What have you been told about England that makes you want to go?
Watching cricket, I always watch England playing, and I like the way they play their cricket. Youth development in England is really better than Jamaica. Go to academies and clubs, and you start from there to rise to the international level.
So it's great to be in Jamaica. I love being here. The only reason I'm here is because the Queen's died. So tell me, what are your thoughts about the Queen's death? I want honesty. Did you like the Queen?
All right. I don't hate on the Queen. She have done so many things for Jamaica, so us here should be grateful of the things that she have done for us.
I'm Michael Learmonth, Editor-in-Chief of Vice News. Too often, traditional news outlets shy away from the real stories and experiences of those living through global conflicts. Not Vice News. Our reporters are on the ground, fearlessly covering the human stories that shape our world. You and millions of others can continue to read, watch, and listen to Vice News for free. But we hope you'll consider making a one-time or ongoing contribution of any size at vice.com/contribute. Every contribution, no matter how big or small, helps support the journalism Vice News brings to you every day. Thank you.